So while the Royal Rumble matchup is designed to create this unpredictable nature leading into WrestleMania, I have to argue that this year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view, at least for me, is very difficult to predict for the first time in what feels like ages. I mean, outside of Shinsuke Nakamura in 2016 and maybe Edge in 2010, the WWE Royal Rumble match has felt anything but unpredictable. In fact, I'm pretty sure most people throughout the past decade have kinda had an understanding as to who will win the oh-so-important match. Everybody saw that Batista was gonna win, everybody predicted that Roman Reigns was gonna win, sadly. But this year, it seems as though it's very different, or at least for me, it feels that way. When it comes to the men's and women's rumbles, respectively, I have no idea who's gonna win these. Okay, I have, obviously, my own predictions, which we are going to get to in a little bit, but even outside of those rumble matches, for a lot of these matches, I can see it going either way. So I think this Royal Rumble pay-per-view should be very interesting. Hey guys, my name is Dominic from GrappleNation, and it's predictions time once again, this time for the Royal Rumble 2021 event. And without further ado, let's get into the actual predictions. Kicking us off, we got the SmackDown Women's title as Sasha Banks sets to go one-on-one with Carmella. I think Sasha Banks is going to win a singles match at WrestleMania between Bayley and Sasha Banks, who were kind of ruling over WWE for the better part of a year. That is a match that sort of makes sense, and Bayley hasn't really been doing too much of note. So, yeah, Sasha versus Bayley will be at Mania, which means she's going to beat Carmella here. But speaking of the women, let's go to the women's tag team matches. It's a rematch from the previous pay-per-view. We've got Asuka and Charlotte Flair taking on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I think Nia and Shayna are gonna win because WWE have a horrible habit of breaking up all of their tag teams, and I think Asuka versus Charlotte's gonna be at WrestleMania, if not before at some other pay-per-view. But I think this is gonna start the breakup of Asuka and Charlotte because they are a team that's designed to break up into a singles match. But from that, we're going to move on to the men, as Drew McIntyre will be looking to defend his WWE title against Goldberg. Goldberg's winning. It's going to be Goldberg. It's going to be Goldberg. I don't want to be a downer, but it's going to be Goldberg because, of course, it's going to be Goldberg. Drew McIntyre was built up for all of these months, so that he can be fed to the next new top star, okay, the young stallion known as Goldberg. And look, this is too depressing. Let's move on to the next match. I've made myself sad. Hopefully on a bit more of a positive note now, in a last man standing match, it's gonna be Roman Reigns taking on Kevin Owens for the WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns is gonna win, but I actually like that. Even though I like Kevin Owens and he seems like a good guy, I wonder what he's doing at WrestleMania. I'm not too sure at this point, but Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns on this pay-per-view, I think is going to either end in a double down. They're both wiped out from some sort of big spot, and it's a last man standing match, so the count of 10, and they're both out. Or, most likely, Roman Reigns is going to win and continue his dominance leading in to WrestleMania. Either way, though, Roman Reigns is leaving with the Universal title. But now let's turn our attention to the Royal Rumble matches, starting off with the Women's Royal Rumble match as Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Tamina, and Natalya have all been announced for that matchup. And even though I think Tamina winning would be the greatest thing of all time, I don't think it's going to be her. There are a lot of people who can win these Rumbles, by the way. I just want to point that out. It's It is a difficult choice to really decide, but I think it's gonna be a returning, and I get that this is a very outlandish pick, but I don't know, it makes sense. I think it's gonna be a returning Ronda Rousey. Either her or Alexa Bliss. But I think it's gonna be Ronda Rousey. Again, I know people would probably want Becky Lynch to be the woman returning for this match, but Becky Lynch kind of just had a baby, and I don't think they're gonna want to risk that. And I think Becky Lynch, especially if Seth Rollins is gonna return during the men's rumble, which I think might happen, and I think Becky is not gonna come back anytime soon. Maybe for WrestleMania, but certainly not during the Rumble. But now it's time for the men's Royal Rumble match as Daniel Bryan, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Otis, The Miz, Jey Uso, Cesaro, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Big E, John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, King Corbin, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio. That's a lot of people, are all going to be in the Royal Rumble match. They are the announced competitors. And this is the really unpredictable one. But Daniel Bryan, there's a lot of people saying Daniel Bryan could win. I think it would be poetic, but I don't think it'll be Bryan. I want it so badly to be Shinsuke Nakamura because he's getting that push. He's getting the King of Strong style music back, the violins, baby. But ultimately, I'm still behind Big E winning the Rumble. He's going to lose the IC title at some other pay-per-view and go on and fight Roman Reigns because that, I don't know, I get that a lot of people have sort of cooled off on Big E winning the Rumble. I don't know why. Big E is freaking awesome. And I think if you want to have a really happy, feel-good moment, especially during this Royal Rumble, which will be the first Rumble with no fans, which will suck, I think Big E is sort of the way to go, and I think that's what they're gonna want to do. But yeah, that's the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Very unpredictable in my opinion. What about you? What do you guys think about the Royal Rumble event? The one that I will be doing a live reaction to, because of course, we've been kind of doing the live reactions over the past year, and why are we going to stop on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view? That would suck. The Royal Rumble matches are the most fun to watch in a group setting, and we can't do that. But you know what? You and I will do it together. However, ladies and gentlemen, right now, that's going to have to be the end of this predictions video here. What do you guys think is going to happen at the Royal Rumble event itself? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, but if you have, why not hit the bell to be notified of everything we do here on GrappleNation? Of course, my name is Dominic, and have a good day. Bye-bye.